Hello lettering friend, I'm Sarah from Ensign Insights and I'm going to show you every small brush pen that I have. Welcome to my brush pen inventory. One thing I hear a lot from someone starting hand lettering and journaling is, ooh, maybe this will help me start using all the pens and supplies that I have. Does that sound familiar to you? I totally get that. I have way too many pens and I've decluttered over 50% of the pens that I used to own. So this all started 2 years ago after I was evacuated because of a fire. It was one of the scariest things that I've ever been through, and I had to look at my relationship with stuff. I'm a recovering pen addict, but as I've worked on decluttering my pens, I've learned that my creativity can thrive even more when I have less pens to choose from. Maybe you have too many pens as well and you would like to go through a brush pen inventory of your own, or maybe you're just getting started and you'd just like to see what pens I recommend keeping. Over the next few weeks, I'll be sharing my brush pen inventory of all my different pen categories, starting with today, my small brush pens. And before we start, if you just need to know right now what pens you should buy to get started in hand lettering, I have an ultimate brush pen guide and you can download that, and there's links where to find all the pens. I will leave that in the description box below. So my first small brush pens I'm going to show you are Pentel Touch brush pens. I love these ones. I have the 24 set, there was the 12 set, and then in the last couple years, the new 12 colors have come out, and I love both of them. I am definitely keeping these forever. I love all of the colors. These are one of the first brush pens that I recommend for beginners. And one thing I've been thinking a lot about is this phrase, use it up or give it new life. So I am going to use these until I can't use them anymore. The ink runs out or whatever, they're too worn out. Because I love them, I know I will be able to use them until I can wear them out. So that is why I'm keeping them. For your own brush pen inventory, I have some questions that might help you as you're deciding if you should keep them or not. The questions are, when was the last time I used this? How hard is it to replace this item? How does this make me feel when I use it? What do I use this for? Is there another pen that can do the same job better? Do I love this pen? And these pens wouldn't be too hard to replace, but I love them so much that I'm constantly using them. I don't need to try and replace them. That would just be if you're feeling like you regretted getting rid of a pen. Is it easy to replace them? But I don't regret decluttering any of the pens that I've gotten rid of. And I know that I'm keeping the ones that make me feel good every time without fail. Because here's the thing, there are way too many different types of pens out there to be keeping ones that don't make you feel good. You really can find a pen that fits with your style and helps you feel good in your lettering. It might be different from what I love, and you might have to explore a little bit to find it, but it's out there. The next pen I'm going to show you are the Tombow Furunosuke colorful pens. I have several black ones and I use the black ones a lot, but the colorful ones, I actually never used them except for in the very first review video that I made about them. So they're still really good quality. And that's the other thing too. The pens that I have left, they're all really good. I just may not use them very much. So it's hard to get rid of something when I'm like, these were expensive and they're not something that I can just give to my daughter or to my nieces and nephews. This is something that I would need to give to somebody who is actually learning lettering and can really enjoy how good they are. So these Tombows are great colors. These are waterproof. The Pentel Touch are not waterproof. So I do use the black ones when I need something that's waterproof, but I just have never used the colors. One thing that I love about the Tombow pens is that they have in black the hard and soft nib, and I just got this new set from Hobby Lobby that has both, and so I definitely recommend getting that if you don't know whether or not you like a hard or soft nib yet, because it might be different for you than it is for someone else. So just trying both of them out can help you to decide which ones you like. So I think what I'm going to do is offer them to my newsletter just so I know that they're going to a good home, someone who will enjoy them, because pens want to be used. They want somebody to create with them. And if they're just sitting in my desk, that's not doing anybody any good. The next pen I'm going to show you is the Marvy Le Pen Flex. These ones have such a really nice nib. It's really bouncy. It's different for a small brush pen. It's really different than the Pentel and the Tombow. They're really unique and I like them a lot. The problem is I don't use these colors. They are more of fall colors and it's not really a color palette that I choose to use. So for me, I think that's why I don't use them. I use the black one a lot actually, but I don't hardly ever use the colors. But just like the Tombows, these are really hard to get rid of because they are such good brush pens. They're great quality. They are not cheap. They're more expensive. I have the whole set. I don't want to just give these to somebody who doesn't understand how good they are. So once again, with these ones, I think I'm going to offer them to my newsletter subscribers and just see if they could get a new life from somebody who will enjoy them. And the next pen that I'm going to show you is my Monami Plus Pen 3000. I love these pens. I have a full review on them. These are actually supposed to be fine tip pens, but if you push hard enough, you can get a thicker downstroke. They're really tiny, so these are not similar to the Pentel or Tombow or Marvy. They are a lot tinier, so you're going to get tiny, dainty lettering if you like that style, which I do. And also, if you are soft-handed, then you might not like them as much because you do have to push hard to be able to get the thick downstroke. If you're hard-handed, more like me, then you might really enjoy them because you do push harder. So you have to be hard-handed and you have to like small, dainty lettering. That's what style these pens are for. And since I've been starting to talk about my decluttering pens situation, I get asked, where do I give them away? Who do I give them to? So I have given them to some neighbor friends. I had a family who was just starting homeschooling. They had 6 kids, and so I gave several boxes of pens to them, and they loved that. They really appreciated it. I've given it to my nieces and nephews. Some of my pens I just give to my daughter. She's only a toddler, so she can only understand so much, but there are some pens that she can enjoy. If you know a friend who is learning to letter, you could give it to them. Family members. The lettering community on Instagram is so wonderful and so amazing. If you reach out there, I'm sure you could find somebody who might want some. There are also some pens that I have given to Goodwill. I know sometimes I've seen in their crafting supplies some sort of random pens. I wouldn't give my really nice fancy pens there because, like I said, the pens that are really good, I want somebody to be able to use it and know how good this pen is. The next pen is the Archer and Olive Calligraph pens. These ones are technically small and large brush pens because they have a dual tip, but the large tip is not my favorite. They're not bad, but they're just not my favorite. They're not the most bouncy, but the small tip is actually really good, and I really, really like this small tip. It feels like a great soft bounce. And I have the tropical colors. There are several other sets now, and these ones were difficult for me to decide if I wanted to keep them or not because they are really good and they're really expensive. And Archer and Olive is like a really fancy company that makes me feel like, wow, look, I'm really fancy. But what it comes down to is I don't use these very often. And going back to my questions, is there another pen that can do the same job better? Yeah, there is, because my Pentel colors, I have more options of colors and I like them just as much. And I don't have black in the Calligraph, so there really isn't a reason to keep these because I have my Pentel that I like better and they're doing the same job. So these ones I'm going to offer to my newsletter subscribers. because I could just buy another set if I really needed to replace them. And in the meantime, while they're sitting in my drawer, not being used, why don't I get them out, let somebody else try them and enjoy them so they can get a new life? They want to be used. This next pen case is filled with all of my small black brush pens. I have a lot because I was experimenting, trying to find which ones I really loved. These two are from Daiso, and also what I did as I went through these pens, I lettered with them on watercolor paper, and then I added some water just to see if they were waterproof or not. It's fine if they're not waterproof, but I just need to know because sometimes I do want waterproof pens, and then it is really important to know which ones are my waterproof pens. So my Sakura pens, the Pigma, I have in the fine tip and the medium tip, and those ones are really good. And then the Pilot Petite 3, I really love this brush tip. It kind of has the same unique bounce as the Marvy, and I only have the black because that's all I use, and I do use it a lot. I love it. And then I have this Tombow, I don't know what it's called. It's a Tombow dual something. One side is gray and one side is black. And I really like this one. It's just slightly a different bounce than the regular Tombow, and I really like it. Next, I have the Kuretake Kokoiro. This one is really unique. It's so tiny. You do have to press really hard, so not everybody likes this one. It has several different pen bodies, all different colors, and then it does have different ink as well, and you just load them into the pen body. And then next I have my Kuretake Bimoji. This one comes in all different sizes, and I got it at Hobby Lobby years ago. Hobby Lobby doesn't sell them anymore, but I've seen them on jet pens, and I really like this one. It's my really tiny one, and it's just a little bit different from the other ones. And then I have my Kuretake Furugo Kochi, and that one is really juicy, so it's not good for lefties. It takes forever to dry. It's a really tiny tip, and I like the really tiny tip, but I just have a lot of really tiny tips, so I need to narrow these down. The next one is a Pilot pen. I don't remember what it's called. I found it on Amazon. It has the small brush tip on one side and the large brush tip on the other side, and it's really nice, and I like that it's waterproof. And then the last one is the Pilot Makasi. I don't know how to say that exactly. I'm so sorry. This one comes in other colors as well. I just have the black one. I like the really fine tip. It's kind of a harder tip. All of these ones are really nice tips. So I have to narrow it down because I don't need this many black pens. So here's the recap of my small brush pens. These are just the ones I have right now that I'm trying to declutter. So I'm keeping my Pentel Touch brush pens. I am getting rid of the Tombow except for my black ones. I am getting rid of the Marvy Le Pen Flex colors. I will keep forever and ever my Monami Plus Pen 3000. I'm going to get rid of the Calligraph, and then I'm still going to have to work through the black small brush pens and figure out which ones I want and not. So thank you for joining me for this brush pen inventory. The next video is going to be for medium and large brush pens, and that one is going to be a big one. So I'll add a playlist with all of my inventory videos as I'm uploading them, and then I'll also add a playlist right here with my organizing and decluttering videos. I hope that helps you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.